Hey, welcome everybody. It's Tim Prodromou and another episode of Epic Encore. I'm really excited about today's guest because we met, I think it was like 10 years ago. I lose track of the time though, but we were in this mastermind with Frank Kern learning how to become internet marketers, and we're both doing something totally different now. And I came across Joey. He spoke at the Brian Kurtz's Titans Mastermind. That's how I got to really see what you evolved into over the years, though. So welcome,
Oh,
Joey.
thank you. Thank you. It's so amazing to be here. It feels like when you said a decade, because it has been such a while, it doesn't even feel that long that it's been, because we don't really talk a lot. Now we're talking a little bit more, but it feels as though we've talked every single day for the last 10 years. So thank you for this opportunity. Can't wait to have this discussion.
Yeah, I just was so impressed with your presentation at in the Titans Mastermind with Brian
Thank you.
Kurtz. Because I mean, we were both trying to learn how to make millions online and not work and all that crap. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were chasing the
That was a
dream.
Yeah, that was a pivotal point of my life. I look back at it and I would not want to do it again and go through it because it was hard to go through personally and business wise, but it did change my life. I know those are cliche things, but it really did change the direction of my life and my business. And where I am today is because of that struggle, or I guess that I always talk about how my heart and my head were fighting during those times. And thankfully, I started listening to my heart again. And here I am with amazing people like you.
Yeah. So tell me about your program that you teach now, because it really fits in with Epic Encore.
Yeah. So the program itself is called Atlas. No, this is just because I like to do it. And I don't know if you can see him on there. My shelfies over there. But it's more of a heart-centered marketing system, what I call it, and an unfunnel method that I've employed. And what that does is it's just all about heart. It's all about relationships and true relationship building, and growing the business in a very heart-centered way that has everything to do with the client themselves, letting everything happen on their terms and not my terms. Where a lot of the marketing that you and I know of, it's about, the end of this Friday, you got to do this or the world's going to end and all those kind of things, and on our timelines and the pressure that's involved in that type of marketing. And so I just decided to pull back and build everything based on how can I support the customer or the potential client in a new way that is completely up to them and not having any expectations, because back then that's what it was about for me. I don't know about you, but for me it was okay, I'm getting on these all these calls. How do I convert these people? Like, it's not happening. And I believe that they felt that desperation in me to try to make the sale. And I don't like that. I always thought that I'm not a salesperson, and now I don't have to sell at all whatsoever, because the whole idea for me to get into a conversation is how can I help you today? What's the thing that I could add to your life, to your business today that will help you move? And if that conversation moves into a, hey, how can I work with you type of thing, fantastic.
Yeah.
But it was that one piece, Ted, that just removing the expectation of the sale changed the game for me.
I can totally relate to what you just said. Because we learned how to generate leads, get people on the phone or Zoom calls. I was doing
Yeah.
like 8 to 10 Zoom calls a day.
Yeah.
Like, I hate selling. I don't want to do that. I don't want to try to take money from people that don't need my help.
Yeah.
And it's just like so transactional. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
then I'd finally get a client. I'm like, oh my God, now I got to do the work.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I mean, I always joke around how I have the banker's box down beside my desk here, full of forms that never went anywhere. And so this new marketing system is basically built around the dream client that I call. It's like beyond the ideal client thing, and it's like, who are the people you want in your life, and that's what the program is all built around. Because my I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. The only thing I know is entrepreneurship, right? So there's two camps in the world that I see. One is that you can be friends with your clients, and the other one is no, you can't.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the yes, you can, because that's the way I grew up. I saw my dad build his company, and there was this fine line between when they were friends and when they were, not, and then just business partners or client and business, but they never really spoke about it. It was just like, hey man, you're over here for the pool party and you're my friend now type of thing. So it was like a really cool thing to watch, and it's very hard to explain to somebody when you're growing up in that. And so I decided like this is what I want other people to understand, that you can actually have friends who pay you. That's basically what a dream client is. An
Nice.
awesome person that pays you, best friends who pay you, and there's no problem with it. And that's what the whole program is based on. I imagine if you could choose people that are like your best friends
Yeah.
and they're epic people to hang out with, and it has nothing to do with money. It
Mhm.
just so happens that your bank account fills up at the same time. You're like, wow, this is fantastic. What more could you want?
Yeah. I would consider my best clients my friends too. That's just, it's so
Yeah.
refreshing that you can make a living being friendly and not ripping people off.
Yeah.
Was there like a
Isn't it cool to
shift or
show up
something?
and be excited to talk to people like your clients? Like, I can't wait to get on calls with people. It's not like, oh, my calendar's filled up. Oh, I got to go talk to Ted today. Ah, well, he's paying me anyway. So, right. It's always, I'm on the calls way before them. Like, come on, where are you guys? What's happening?
Right.
It has nothing to do with because they paid me.
That's what I've been teaching for 15 years about LinkedIn. Use it as
Amazing.
a Rolodex. Remember the old
Yeah.
Rolodex days? You had
Yeah.
this roll of cards in there. These are people you trusted and had connection with. If
Yeah.
you didn't trust them, they didn't get in your Rolodex.
That's
I love to
right.
go on LinkedIn every day and just try to start two or three conversations with people I know. Reach out to someone I worked with 10 years ago or someone I worked with. They were my client 10 years ago, or I was their client. You just ping them and say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Starts a conversation.
That whole art is just gone. It
Yeah.
just, and but there's an opportunity for us and for your tribe. Like there's an opportunity to step into that,
Yeah.
to, even with all the technology that's coming out, all the AI, all the I call it the robotization. That's a new word. But it's all digitized now and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, because I love, love, love technology. I love it. But then there's an opportunity for you and I and for people in your community to totally step out and just have one-on-one connections. And that's what's grown my business over the last 5 years or whatever it is now.
People are blown away when I reach out to them on LinkedIn. I'll send a video instead of a message. I'll say, hey, Joe, how you doing?
Yeah.
Haven't talked for a while. Let's catch up. And they're
Yeah.
like, wow,
So
he took
great.
that time to make a video for me.
I know, right?
Yeah. So was there something that triggered your, revelation from I don't want to be a marketer and salesperson anymore to let's go heart-centered? Was there a book you read or something that triggered that?
It was that transition between 2016 and 19. So before that, it was struggling for 6 years or so, trying to do things and learning the online world. And then in 2016, went into the different area and like maybe those guys have something that I'm missing. And as I was in that transition, when I do something, I go in 1,000%. So it's not like I just I don't go in halfway. So during that time, it was getting worse and worse every year because, like I said, my heart and my head were fighting, and I'm a very tuned in to my soul, to my body, to what's happening inside of me. But I was like, no, 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 I've committed to this. I got to go do this. And so that was the trigger. There was really nothing else. And the other thing else was I was also in a heart-centered community. So there was both of these communities. But when I went into the other community, it was like, okay, I see you guys. It's cool. You're cute, right? That's good.
Right.
But I was always drawn to that. And so it just happened in one day in 2019 where, my good friend now, my coach Giovanni, he's from Archangel. He was part of that. I was part of the community, and he invited me to an event in February of that year of 2019. And I was broke. Like I couldn't even pay for anything. I was like, I can't even come. He just goes, come to this and maybe you'll get something out of it. So anyway, that was the catalyst of it. So I went there and again, involved in the community, amazing people. And it was just like, this is where I need to be. I just need to just focus in on this. And then I just helped the last two remaining clients fire me. That was it. I've struggled with this for the last 3 years It still hasn't made me the $1 million that everybody's telling me that I could make. You know, I remember one time, dude, it was crazy. I think it was November of that last year of 2018. And in November of that year, uh, I was in like a mastermind all the time every week, and I was really, really upset almost every day trying to get through these things. And one of my colleagues, he said, "You can make $1 million. You know that, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And I was fooling myself, Ted. Like I was fooling myself with these things.
Yeah.
And I practically was at zero. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I can make $1 million. And it was November. He says, by January 1st, you can make $1 million, right? And it was this coaxing on of this stuff that goes in your head. I know about manifestation and positivity and all this stuff, but you still have to believe, right? You still have to believe truly that, yeah, I can make $1 million.
Right.
I didn't believe a thing. And so I was constantly fooling myself, and that was another big catalyst of going into the next year after 3 years of saying those things over and over again. I can make $85,000 a month. Why not?
Right.
Other guys are doing it. So it was leaning into this does not work for me because it was too aggressive,
Yep.
and I don't believe this right now. And today, my first milestone was $100,000 because I wasn't making 100,000.
Yeah.
The first milestone was that, like, I can make 100,000. Now I look at that because I used to think it was crazy. Now it was like when I tell other people now, man, you can make 100,000 easily. Not the whole marketing thingy, but I've done it. I know how truly it's simple to do, and you can have all your freedom
Right.
completely. So I've done it, and now I look at that number and think, oh, no problem. So now if you ask me, Joey, can you make 1 million? Yeah, sure, I can make 1 million. I can see that, and I believe it truly,
Yeah.
based on how I've set my business up in my life. So I don't know if I answered that question. I kind of felt like I went down a rabbit hole, but anyway.
No, it's because we all get sucked into that. Oh, we can make $1,000 a day doing
Yeah.
nothing. Like, yeah, right. We know that's not
Yeah.
true, but we buy into the programs. I remember one of the
Yeah.
first internet marketing programs I bought. They taught you how to create an ebook and then you sell it for $1. And at the bottom of the page in very fine print that kind of blends into the background says you're going to get charged 37 a month
Oh my.
ongoing. And they couldn't see that. Then they'd start getting $37 a month to be in my mastermind or whatever. It's so deceptive. I says, I can't do that. And I remember Frank told me one time, you leave millions of dollars on the table. You're too honest.
That's
It's kind of my
crazy.
wake up call. Like, I don't want to be in this world.
Yeah. I remember being in it was an email program or something to that effect where the idea was email them every day with an offer until they do one of two things, buy or opt out. And that was a big one for me too. I'm like, what? No, thank you. And I tried it a little bit. I tried to do the offer stuff and the whole excuse of, hey, today's chocolate day. So let me, and then you weed it into this offer like every day is something. I'm like, wow, this is just not for me.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
I think I was in that class because I remember one
Were
of
you?
them said, email them 20 times a day. The guy till they buy or die. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, what a mentality. Like that was crazy.
But these guys made millions teaching that stuff.
Yeah.
And we paid them money to learn stuff that doesn't resonate with us. I'm heart-centered too. I totally believe what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to sleep at night. I don't know. Like I know your whole community's like that. I know you're like that. And to me, I do everything in my power to make sure that I'm doing the best service ever for the client.
Right.
And guarantees and refunds and all these other things. We can talk about all kinds of different things. People think I'm crazy doing what I do.
Yeah.
But the last thing that I want to do is lose my reputation and my character. Like I'm so about that. I mean, you can't please everybody. Sooner or later somebody's not going to like you. But I do everything in my power to make sure that I am on their side, like because they're best friends to me. That's the way I look at it. And one other thing I do as well is I treat everybody in my community as if they were a client right now, regardless if they're paying me.
Hmm.
So I don't have to switch. I don't have to be, oh, well, you're not paying me, so I'm not going to really tell you that. Like
Right.
to me, it's just I want everything to be simple, right? Wake up in the morning. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to serve today. I'm going to answer questions. I'm going to do everything in my power. And hey, if you're paying me, maybe I'll see you today on Zoom. Like if you're not, well, I'll meet you tomorrow in the Facebook group or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I've turned down so many clients from when I get on a call with them, like they want my help, they want to hire me, and like I really can't help you. I will refer
Yeah.
them to maybe someone that could help them, or to that really you're not ready for this yet, or here's what you need to learn before I can help you.
Hmm.
And it's like it feels so good to not take people's money because, like you said, they want their money back. They don't feel like you're giving them the value. So I kind of catch that up front now. I'm pretty good at
Yeah.
saying, I can help you or I can't help you.
That's the whole point of the curation. One of my three pillars is curate the tribe. That's the basis of it all. And then one friend told me, I'll never forget this. She said, if you drag them in, you end up dragging them around.
Mhm.
And I'll never forget that. I'm like, well, that's so cool. Because that's exactly what I was trying to do, trying to drag them in.
Yep. Yeah. Let them come to you.
Yep.
So, Matt, it's like there's thousands of people getting laid off in the tech world right now. I know so many people over 50 that have been laid off and aged out of their careers. So, how would you help them create their dream life?
Well, it depends on what that looks like for them. But I have, if it's transitioning into their own business, then I have a model called the Dream Life Model, and it's pretty simple. And it starts like this. First, we have to understand what we want, and it's all about us. And we're at the center of everything. And this is hard for some of us or most of us because we're awesome humans and we're like, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want this to be about me. But it has to start there because it's like the oxygen mask on the plane, right? You got to help yourself first. So what does that look like? What does your life look like? And I like to design my freedom and all that stuff now rather than trying later because that's all I did for 45 years.
Right.
And people do it all the time. Like, yeah, when's that life balance come in? So let's design life balance and all that stuff right now. How does it look like? And then the next big thing is the client. Like who is the client that you want in your life? Like I talked about a little bit earlier, which is like your best friend. So it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the money. It's like who do I want in my life? Who do I want to show up for every single day? If I saw somebody, if I saw Ted walking on the side of the street, the other side of the street, 6 lanes over, would I jump all that traffic to go see him? Yeah, that's the kind of person I want in my life, right? Let's go have a coffee. Then it comes the business model. That's what I would say. Like, so then now that you have these people in your life that you want to be hang around with, what does the business model look like? What do you want to spend your time doing? Invest your time. Is it a coaching program? Is it like online? Whatever it looks like. And then it's the product. Then it's the actual thing you sell.
Hmm.
So if you look at what I just described, the product comes last, right? And what we used to do is the opposite. We used to start with the product. I'm going to have a pro coaching program or an ebook, and I'm going
Yeah.
to sell this thing, and it's going to go into this funnel or into this coaching program, and you build the business model. And then what do? You start looking for clients. Well, how do I get leads? I did this thing, I built this product, right? I got this coaching program or this evergreen or this course, whatever it is you did.
Yep.
Now, how do I get find leads? And that's where people get stuck. And that's where that question comes up. Because then it's like, well, how do I get life balance? Because all I'm doing is trying to find leads. All I'm trying to do is sell my stuff, and they never get down to the you, which is the family, which is freedom and all that stuff. So if I was asked, what do you do first? Dude, let's sit down and figure out what you want in your life. What does the next 25, 50 years look like for you? What does
Right.
that look like? And that's the dream life model. That's the first thing I would have a conversation with. So I don't know
Yeah.
if I answered that question, but maybe we
Yeah, you
can
did.
open it up.
It's like we've got 30 or 40 years of experience. All of a sudden, we're not working anymore. So our purpose has disappeared. And we're trying to figure out what am I going to do for the next 20 or 30 years? What's my purpose? Maybe it's hanging out with the grandkids. Maybe it's golfing. But most of these people want to mentor other people. They've been helping each other and mentoring people their whole careers, especially executives.
Right.
And they love helping people like that and mentoring. So that would be their business. They can be coaches
Yes.
or use that 40 years of experience to be a consultant, something like that. And most of them don't want to
100%.
work 40, 50, 60 hours a week and they don't want to do marketing. Definitely not marketing.
That's where I'm at. Where when I started this, I don't even know what to call myself. Am I a coach? Am I a consultant? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the both. I'm helping people build their online business or actually fixing their online business into what I just told you
Yep.
and giving them back 96% of their time. Like I can literally help them do that. Whereas the opposite, if they were doing it like 96% on and 4% maybe, they get
Yep.
to do something else. And that's the way I designed it. It was like, well, and I took this from Dan Sullivan. It was like, who do you want to be a hero to? Second is, what does the 25 years, next 25 years of your life look like? What do you want to do for the next 25 years? And that's why I like simplicity. When people ask me, what are you doing? And are you scaling? Dude, I'm doing the same thing every single day and I love it because I designed it. I wanted to say, this is what I want to wake up to every single day. This is what I can talk about every day. Never gets me bored.
Yeah.
And these are the people that I want, the characters, like the humans I want. Not it has nothing to do with the business. And then when there was the match of, okay, what's the problem that these people have? Because imagine this. Imagine if you decided anybody in your community can still do this exercise really quick. Just look at your best friends and say, what do you love about your best friends? All those characteristics, okay? Now imagine that those people, you'd bring them over every week or every day and you just have conversations. You're like watching football, you're doing whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden the problems keep coming up, the same problem over and over again.
Yep.
And you're like, wow, Ted, like, man, I can help that. Like it's so simple for me to do. And that's the match. And then Ted says, well, let me pay you some money for that. That's the whole idea. That's the whole premise of what I do.
Right.
So then you get a whole bunch of Teds and a whole bunch of your best friends replicated. And it doesn't have to be a lot, by the way, because if you get, as well as I do that when you have a snake bite over a mosquito bite, you got to get that thing fixed.
Right.
And you're not gouging anybody. You're actually helping these people, and they will gladly pay you a premium price to work with you. So the model and the money needs to come into play. Yes, we have to look at that and say, how much money do I really want to generate? And what does that look like? And then what are my price and all that stuff? But for me, it's not a lot of people that I don't want to work with hundreds and hundreds of people per year.
Right.
Imagine having to have all the conversations. It's crazy. That's why the funnel thing doesn't work for me.
Yeah. It doesn't work for anyone anymore.
Yeah. I'm
Everybody's
glad.
doing it, so it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And it comes back to relationships. And that's what I focus on, building relationships.
Right. And all it takes is one.
Yeah.
Right? You start with one person. That's what I did is who is the person that I want to work with? When I got that person in whatever it was, 2019, I said, how do I replicate her now? How do I carbon copy her?
Yeah.
And it was all about characteristics because literally I could show up. Look at how I'm showing up here. If you look at any of my videos anywhere inside my program, online, nothing changes. I show up the exact same way. And to me, that was very important.
Right.
It was, this is what I want to do. I don't want to have to worry about great lighting and cameras, and there's nothing wrong with any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, it was, who am I? What is my superpower? And my superpower is because I love information and I love consolidating and doing all these things and sharing models. Is like as soon as I learn something, as soon as I pick it up, I just want to get on camera or get on a Zoom call and go, guys, I got to share this with you. No
Yeah.
matter how I look, no matter what's going on, I could be in a cab and still sharing it, and my clients won't care. To
Right.
me, that was very important. And for your community, what they want to do is, yeah, they've got all this knowledge, but
Yeah.
then who are the people that are going to appreciate that knowledge and just go from there?
Yeah. Authenticity. It's like, I remember one of the first courses I took too, they said, create your fictitious character and
Yeah.
be that person online, but you be you offline. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's another part of the secret sauce that if you want to call it that, secret sauce. Gonna be, how do you get people to come to you? To do is really easy. Go online, be yourself. And for a lot of people, I know that this is a challenge because for some reason they're afraid of being judged or whatever it is. I have because of the way that I grew up, I've always been okay with going against the grain all the time. So that's not really a big deal for me. Just like, this is what I think, this is what I care. Not that I'm like standing on a soapbox, but I'm not afraid to share my opinions, my knowledge, what I think, my values, all that stuff. And the more that we step into that, the easier it is to attract the right people and repel the other ones.
Exactly. They know
Right?
exactly what you stand for.
Yes.
So,
Without being a jerk about it, because I was there before. I got to admit, like, early on in my life, it was like, well, you don't agree with me, Ted? You're an idiot. What are you
right.
crazy? So I grew up and I still don't care what you think, but I respect what you if you don't agree with me. You're like, okay, you're in that line over there. That's cool,
Yeah,
right?
we're allowed to have different opinions. That's okay.
Right.
But I want to work with the people that we have a lot in common. And that's what I try to attract with my videos
Love it.
too.
Love it.
Yeah. Doesn't great. We could talk for days, but how can
Yeah.
people learn more about your programs and work with you?
You know, man, just reach out. My company name or the strategicbusinessacademy.com would be the place to go. Strategicbusinessacademy.com. I know it's a long one. That's my website. And you can just put Joey in front of that if you want to email me directly. So Joey at strategicbusinessacademy.com. Happy to have a conversation with you.
Or connect on LinkedIn? Oh, what a
Connect on
concept.
LinkedIn. Yes. Keep forgetting about LinkedIn. I'm there too. You can find me on all the socials. Yeah.
LinkedIn's
Just
getting to be
Joey
tough
Ragona.
these days with the AI bots. They're actually doing comments now too. It's like
Are
I
they
don't spend
really?
a
Oh my
whole.
gosh.
I've been doing LinkedIn marketing and wrote 4 books about LinkedIn, and I don't even go to LinkedIn much anymore because it's all automated.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy that the bots are actually doing the comments.
yeah. That's why I'll do the little videos and send it to people. Say, hey, thanks a lot. It's great talking to you today. A little 30-second video. They love it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that too.
So,
You're awesome, Ted.
well, thank you so much for this. I'm can't wait to jump in your community and check things out.
Definitely. Love to have you over there. We'll get you on one of my live stream podcasts as well. How's that?
Sounds great. I love it. Thank you
Cool.
so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.